From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now, here's Hotline editor, John Mercurio.
Good Monday afternoon, everybody. I'm John Mercurio.
And I'm Amy Walter. Welcome to Hotline TV.
All right, since most of you are a little too busy to read all 544 pages chronicling Bob Shrum's stellar record, we've decided to boil everything down to the bare essentials. Now, normally the Washington Read is when you turn to the index of the book, see if you're mentioned. Amy, play it out for us here. See if you're mentioned, and if you are, you read only those pages where your name appears. But from now on, the Washington Read is whatever we tell you it is.
So sit back, relax. We'll tell you all you need to know about this summer's must-reads. While you're sitting at the pool, would you like to pick up? Which one would you like to first pick up?
Let's start with this book. I've heard a lot about it. I'm very curious to see what Valerie, an undercover CIA covert officer named Valerie Plame is going to be writing about in Fair Game.
Do you think that maybe she'll be talking at all about being covert? Because I thought that was part of the problem, is that once you're a covert operative, you can't talk about it, because that was the whole thing with the Libby and the
picture on Vanity Fair and everything.
So I don't know what we're really going to get, unless maybe what she should do is actually give some of her proceeds to Scooter Libby and his legal defense fund.
And his legal defense fund.
I think that's what should happen.
And of course, the companion piece to go with Valerie Plame's book.
The Prince of Darkness.
The Prince of Darkness,
Robert Novak. Again, who should all these people making money. If you're Scooter Libby now, you're sitting there going, no way. Do I get 2.5 years in jail?
And
these guys are making money.
Matt
This is why
Cooper.
I love
America.
All
right. A Woman in Charge, Carl Bernstein.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've already...
Have we already read this book?
We've already read this book.
I read this book in 1992. I read it in 1996. I read it in 2000.
I'm not going to call it Rehash for Cash, because that would be inappropriate, but it has been called that, and I think we've already spent enough time on that.
Yeah,
but thank you, Carl Bernstein. 8 years on that. Speaking of 8 years, Bob Shrum. Good man. When is he going to win?
Not so lucky with the... So at least he had one winner. Barbara Mikulski won, and Ted Kennedy won one time. You know, he's in the Senate. The presidential thing didn't work out so well, but yeah, these didn't work out.
Yeah, but the book seems to be working out for him pretty well.
So
it's like #2 on the bestseller list.
That's good, and it also is creating a little controversy, which is good for us. It sells not only books but hotlines.
None of these books so far. Speaking of the Washington Read, by the way, none of these books, not one of them mentions my name.
I know, and I've been flipping through all of them, and I don't get one mention.
This one, however, of course, mentions
I get a lot
this mentions me,
in the Reagan years.
This mentions me frequently.
Those were good years for me.
Those were good years for me,
too. You know, I miss
Summers
those
at the pool. I was on the swim team back in the 80s. I had the record at the Bethesda pool for backstroke.
I had a perm.
I bet you did, and
so
I've got a visual right now.
But you know, this is actually what every single Republican candidate is hoping that voters will pick up right before the election, to say, instead of this man's face, why don't you just put like a little Mitt Romney or put a little John McCain right over that? Same old thing.
All right, but before we get too far away from the visual image of Amy's perm, that's all for today. Please join us here tomorrow. Among our guests will be Carl Bernstein, who will dispute everything we just said.
Thanks for joining us on Hotline TV.